that we take care of our veterans. Because I can promise you this, crooked Hillary Clinton is never, ever, ever going to take care of our vets. That's because the only people she's going to take care of are the special interests. Donald J. Trump is going to put America and Americans first. Now, you have a big primary coming up here in California. Now, of course, we know that Donald J. Trump is going to do fantastic here in California. But there's another primary happening between Hillary and Bernie. Now, I have to say, folks, I feel kind of bad for Bernie Sanders supporters. And I'll tell you why. Because the system, folks, is rigged. And I think all of us here can say that we feel sorry for Bernie supporters. Because nobody likes a rigged system. It's rigged for Hillary, and it's rigged for Wall Street. And I don't think Democrat voters in this country want to have a nominee who was for the Iraq War, who authored the Libya invasion, and who's completely and totally owned by corporate special interests. And I think come November, people who don't want a government controlled by Wall Street are going to vote for Donald J. Trump. Now, one of the big issues in this race is the issue of foreign policy. Now, how do we think Secretary Clinton did as Secretary of State? Not great. Not great. Let's review her list of achievements. Let's go through it. We got a lot of stuff that we can talk about when it comes to her resume. So we'll run through it. Let's see. Did Hillary Clinton keep Iraq safe and secure? No, she handed it over to ISIS. Did Hillary Clinton turn Libya into a wellspring of democracy? No, she invaded it and gave it to ISIS too. Did Hillary Clinton keep Iran from pursuing a nuclear weapon? No, she put them closer to a nuclear weapon than they've ever been before. Did Hillary Clinton keep Syria safe and stable? No, she turned Syria into the most dangerous place in the world. And by the way, she wants a 500% increase in Syrian refugees coming into America. And guess who's going to pay for that? The American people. Now, here's something you won't hear in the media. They did a poll on this recently, and they asked people, who wants more than 100,000 refugees a year from the Middle East? They did a poll on this. Rasmussen did. Only 4% of American women say they want more than 100,000 refugees. Because Hillary doesn't care about America's women. She doesn't care about what happens to our schools, or our job markets, or our security. She doesn't believe that you're entitled to raise your children in safety and peace. But you know who's going to make sure you have a safe community? Donald J. Trump. He's going to make sure your communities are safe. He's going to make sure you're secure and prosperous. Oh, and by the way, folks, Donald J. Trump is going to build that wall. He's going to build it strong, he's going to build it tall, and he's going to build it to last. And do you know why he's building that wall? He's building that wall because he cares about you. He's building that wall because he knows what uncontrolled immigration has done to our schools, what it's done to our hospitals, what it's done to our wages. See, you won't hear this in the media, but he knows what uncontrolled immigration has done to our schools, what it's done to our hospitals, what it's done to our... Nothing has hurt the working people of this country more than open borders, which pulls down our wages, hurts our job prospects, and makes it harder and harder to raise our kids and send them off into the world. Now, Hillary Clinton, of course, as someone here points out, she may not be the nominee because she could end up in prison. Now, she has this secret email server, and she deletes and she hides her emails. And I suspect, folks, the reason why Hillary Clinton is so secretive about those State Department emails has to do with something in this book, Clinton Cash. Right? Yes. Now, I'm going to read you all a little excerpt from this book because we want everyone in the country to know about Hillary Clinton's corruption. And here's the way it worked. It's very simple, folks. Give cash to Bill, get favors from Hill. That's how it works. That's how it works, folks. So I'm just going to read you a little excerpt from this book, and then I'll ask you a question. It's real simple. In June 2005, a South American business group offered Bill Clinton $800,000 to deliver 4 speeches in South America. This group was a keen supporter of the proposed U.S.-Colombia Free Trade Agreement because it would boost Colombian exports into the United States. So they gave Bill $800,000 for 4 speeches. Not a bad payday. Hillary was senator at the time. So let me ask you all a question. Hillary said she opposed the deal, and then she became Secretary of State. $800,000 later, do we think Hillary Clinton caved and supported the deal? Yes, she did. Because what happens if you give cash to Bill, you get favors from Hill. Now, do we want to let Hillary Clinton sell our government to the highest bidder? Do we want to let Hillary Clinton keep our borders open so your pay is low? Do we want to let Hillary Clinton sell our government to the highest bidder? Do we want to let Hillary Clinton keep our borders open so your pay is low? Do we want to let Hillary, Secretary of State? She was the worst Secretary of State in American history, although she was great for Wall Street. Now, you remember Hillary Clinton's 3 a.m. ad where, the phone call rang at 3 a.m.? What was Hillary Clinton doing at 3 a.m. when Benghazi was attacked? She was sleeping. Now, let me ask you a question. If that 3 a.m. phone call had been from Wall Street, would she have picked it up? Oh, she'll never, ever, ever turn down a phone call from Wall Street. And I think deep down inside, Democrat voters all over this country know it. And this is the issue that is going to unite all of us. Liberals, conservatives, Democrats, Republicans, independents, everyone, is that all Americans, regardless of the color of their skin, believe, whether they be first generation or 10th generation, that the citizens of this country ought to come first. Are you ready, California, to send a message to the special interests in Washington, D.C.? Are you ready to tell the people who betrayed you that you're ready to take back your country? Are you ready to vote for a man who will put jobs and wages and security for Americans first? Are you ready to say no to the crookedness and corruption and betrayal of Hillary Clinton? Folks, this is a simple choice. You have one candidate, Hillary Clinton, who doesn't care about you. She doesn't care about your children. She will never shed a tear for the working people of this country. She will gladly grind you all under her heel. Then you have a man who will go to bat against the special interests. You will have a man who will be the champion you've been waiting for. Are you ready to have a champion in your corner? You have a man who will go to bat against the special interests. You will have a man who will be... Are you ready to see someone stand up for security over political correctness? Are you ready to see someone stand up for the safety and security of our poorest neighborhoods? Are you ready to see someone who will support our cops, who will support our military, and who will support every God-fearing, wage-earning person in this country who just wants a fair shot at success? Folks, you're the backbone of this country. The people who wake up every morning searching for a job or working at a job or trying to get a job for their children. It's not the Wall Street billionaires. It's not the special interests. It's you. And Donald Trump understands that. Donald Trump will fight for you. He'll fight for every single last one of you. And you have the chance, folks, the once-in-a-lifetime chance that will never come again, to kick the special interests out of D.C. Are you ready to make them sweat? Are you ready to show them who's still in charge? Are you ready to do something they will write about for 1,000 years? Are you ready to secure that border? Are you ready to show them who's still in charge? Are you ready to do something they will write about. American children are given their birthright in their own country. Then stand with Donald J. Trump, stand with Americans of every background, of every color, of every race and every creed, united by the one common belief that a people in their own country come first, and never, ever, ever will you be a second-class citizen again, folks. So now, I have one more question for you, and folks, I want you to shout so loud that all the people who betrayed you can hear you. The people who betrayed Kate Steinle can hear you. The people who sent our manufacturing jobs overseas can hear you. By the way, Hillary Clinton, Democrat voters should know this, will pass the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which will destroy our economy. So I want you to answer this question so that every single person, the Trans-Pacific Partnership, which will destroy our economy. So I want every person who's lectured you sanctimoniously while living the high life in D.C. shout so loud and said that you were wrong and mocked and demeaned and scorned you. Every person who's lectured you sanctimoniously. White House. God bless you. God bless California ready to send Donald J. Trump to the White House.
Turn over here, cameras. You know, they never want to show the crowds we get. This is a movement, folks. This is a big, beautiful movement. And no other Republican would say this, but we are going to play for California. We're going to win California. You watch. You watch. Nobody else can get this. I want to thank everybody. Amazing. And I want to thank Sarah Palin and all of the people that came here on our behalf and the speeches that they made today. I want to thank everybody. Amazing. And I want to thank Sarah Palin and all of the people that came here on our behalf. A lot of people. Thank you. So yesterday we had a very big day. You saw that, right? 12:37. We reached it. Crooked Hillary cannot put Bernie away, and we won over 17. We're going to win all the way. We're going to go all the way. We're going to make America great again. It's going to happen. It's going to happen. I want to thank you very much. I love San Diego. I love the people of San Diego. I love our vets. Where are our vets? We have vets for Trump someplace. Who are the vets for Trump? Carrie. Hi, Carrie. Who are the vets for Trump? Where are these guys? Can we get them up here? Get them up. We love our vets. Come on up here, fellas. Come on up. Good-looking guys. Oh, look at this guy. We got a lot of power here. Army. Wow. So I got a call from Darrell a few weeks ago, long before people thought we'd be winning this so quickly. He said, Donald, I endorse you 100%. And those are the people I remember. I like it. So, Darrell, thank you. Where's Darrell? What the hell happened there? I appreciate it. And Duncan, thank you very much, right from the beginning. Duncan. You better vote for these guys forever. We're never letting them go. I'll tell you what, nobody like our vets. And we're going to cherish our vets. We're going to take care of our vets. Now, I'm the only one this can happen to, but on Tuesday, we're announcing, you know, when I skipped the speech with Fox, and I like Fox, but they didn't treat me so well, I started a little thing, we'll give a speech. And then during the speech, a little before the speech, I said, maybe we can raise some money for the vets, right? So I said, well, we'll raise $500,000. And then I said, maybe we can do more. We raised $1 million. And then a couple of my friends chip in, Stuart Roth from Las Vegas, and Carl Icahn and Stuart, but we have so many different, Phil Ruffin, Ike Perlmutter. And these guys gave between $500,000 and $1 million, right? And I said, whoa, we're up to $3 million. 3. Maybe we'll get it up to 4. Maybe we'll get it up to 5. Maybe we'll get it up to 6. And we raised like more than $5.5 million for the vets. And I never got such bad publicity in my life. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. So on Monday or Tuesday, we give to many groups, many groups, and it's pretty close to $6 million that we raised. And it's for our vets, and we love our vets, and there's nobody like our vets, and we're going to take care of our vets. We're going to build our military, by the way, bigger and better and stronger than ever before. But a big part of that is we are going to take care of our vets for the first time in a long time. We love our vets. Thank you very much, fellas. Thank you. We appreciate it. And he's not a vet, in case anybody could. Thank you, everybody. Thank you. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you, fellas. Thank you, Daryl. Thank you, Duncan. Thank you, fellas. Mr. Trump. You got to watch. We have a great vet, World War II. He looks like a young guy. They're all saying, point him out. He's in the front row, and there he is. Beautiful. Thank you. Thank you very much. Fantastic. Women pilots. That's what I like. Thank you. So this has been amazing. This has been amazing. We just left Fresno. We had a crowd that was, just incredible. And really, we are going to win the state of California because people are tired. People are tired of the Hillary Clintons of the world. It's all talk. It's no action. It's crooked Hillary. It's the same stuff. And our country cannot take another 4 years of Obama. That I can tell you, and that's what you're going to be getting. I mean, just take a look at the TSA. Take a look at what's going on at your airports. Take a look at what's going on with our military that we love. We can't beat ISIS. We're going to beat ISIS. We're going to beat them quickly. We're going to knock the hell out of them. We shouldn't have been there in the first place, but we're going to knock the hell out of them. We're going to beat them quickly. We're going to knock the hell out of them. We shouldn't have been there in the first place, at least. And right now, we have absolutely nothing for it. If we wouldn't have spent 10 cents, we would have been better off, believe me. We're going to rebuild our country. We're going to rebuild our military. We're going to take care of our needs, including our vets. And we're going to bring it back, folks. We're going to bring it back. And it's going to happen quickly. And we're going to build a wall. We're going to build a wall. We're going to build a wall. Latinos for Trump, I love you. You know, build a wall. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we're going to build it. And if we don't build it, I'll get Papa Doug to build it. He'll get it up. You know who Papa Doug is. He's your big guy in town. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we're going to build it. And if we don't build it, I'll get Papa Doug to build it. He'll get it up. You know who Papa Doug is. He's your big guy in town, folks. He's great. He's great. And we've had an exciting time. when I started this journey on June 16th, not so long ago, almost a year, hard to believe. You have to say, we've been on the cover of Time magazine many, many times, and it's really about the movement, because we've created a movement. It's a movement to common sense, to smart. We're not going to be ripped off anymore. All right, get them out of here. Get them out. Get them out. And somebody said, by the way, why are you going to San Diego? Why are you going to California? You already won the primaries. You don't have to go. And I said, very simply, because I said, why are you going to San Diego? Why are you going to California? You already won the primaries. You don't have to go. And I said, very simply, because I said I was going to go, I have to be here, right? I love you. I love you. I love you. And I love... We're going to do great with the Latinos, because I put up Latinos for Trump. Latinos. We're going to do great with the Latinos, because I'm bringing back jobs. The Latinos, African Americans, we're doing great with African Americans. They want jobs. We're bringing back jobs like we haven't seen in this country for many, many decades. And people that aren't doing well, they're going to start doing very, very well. Believe me. Okay. So on June 16th, I came down the escalator with my wife, Melania, and I said, wow, this is going to be, I have never seen outside of the Academy Awards the kind of press. But of course, look at what we have today. Mostly live cameras, some of the most dishonest people in the universe. Some of the worst people. Why don't you take those cameras and spin them around a little bit and show them? Why don't you take them? Spin them around. They don't want to do that, folks. They don't want to do it. That's why I love my protesters, because the only time and the only way they show how big our crowds are, the only time is when there's a protester, because that's a negative thing, they think. But I love our protesters, right? So, because that's a negative thing, they think. But I love our protesters, right? If you notice, that's my notes for the speech. We got to go freeform. We don't want teleprompters, right? No teleprompters. We ought to have a law that if you're running for president, you know the speech. We got to go freeform. We don't want teleprompters, right? No teleprompters. Teleprompter guy, we don't need that. We don't need that. So I started talking about illegal immigration, tremendous problem. I don't think this would be a problem. We don't need that. So I started talking about illegal immigration campaign, and we talked about bad trade, really bad trade. We're losing $500 billion a year with China. We're losing $58 billion a year, really bad trade. We're losing $500 billion a year with China. And every single country, no matter what, name a country, we lose. We don't win anymore. We're going to start winning. We're going to win with trade. We're going to win with our military. We're going to start winning again. Now, our president is right now, you're right, it's pathetic. Honestly, folks, we have leadership right now in this country, especially at the top, that is grossly incompetent. They don't know what the hell they're doing. They don't know what they're doing. So I saw he's in Japan, in Hiroshima, and that's fine. Just as long as he doesn't apologize, it's absolutely fine. Who cares? But he said today that our trading partners and countries that we have relationship with, they're rattled. They're rattled. And I said, yeah, oh, that's so good. And a very, very powerful guy, a very great guy, I won't use his name, but most of you know, I saw him last week. knows everybody, highly respected. And he said, Donald, I had no idea this was going to happen, but I'm being called by all of these countries, Germany, Japan, Saudi Arabia. Think of it. We defend these countries and they don't pay us what they're supposed to be doing. Germany, Saudi Arabia, Japan, South Korea, many others. Then you look at the NATO countries, 28 total. Many of them aren't living up to their obligations. So we have common sense. We have business ability. What happens is this. He said, I can't believe it. I didn't like your rhetoric. And I happen to be a nice person, folks. I'm getting along great. I will get along so great with these countries. I will get along so great. But you know what? They're our friends. They're our allies. But they have been abusing us. They have been abusing us. This isn't 40 years ago when we could have done whatever we want. We owe $19 trillion. It's going up to $21 trillion because of the omnibus budget, which was not so good. That's the budget that allows people to come in from Syria, people to cross the border, funds Obamacare, which we shouldn't have done. Because we will terminate Obamacare and replace it, believe me, with something good. Believe me. Repeal and replace Obamacare. So this man said, Donald, I can't believe it. And he's like the biggest of the big. He said, I disagreed with your style. I really did. I disagreed. And yet now all of these countries are calling. How do we get along with Trump? We think he's going to win. What do we do? How do we do it? How do we do it? They're not going to take advantages. No more, folks. We've had enough. No more. No more. So the press is dishonest, and what they say and what I say is very different. I watched Hillary Clinton last night, which was hard to do because she's a very boring speaker. And I will not say because it's not politically correct and it's not a nice thing to say. So I will not say that she shouts into the microphone and it drives everybody crazy. So I won't say that. But I found it very hard to watch. And then she lies. Now, I called somebody a liar, but I don't say that anymore because that person is now in the past. I say that person's in the past. And with Hillary, we say crooked Hillary. But I've got to add another word because I never saw anything like this last night. She was saying that I want Japan to arm with nuclear. But I've got to add another word because I never saw anything like this last night. She was saying that bad guy, okay? Bad guy. She was saying all sorts of things so bad and so false, total lies, and we're not going to let her get away with it. We're not going to let her get away. What I do say is this. We have tremendous deficits. We're losing a fortune. Our jobs picture is terrible. Don't believe the 5%. The real number is at least 20%. When you look for a job, and I can tell people, raise their hand, do you think I'd have an audience? Look at the size of this room, packed to every corner. You know what? People and the polls love me on security, and there's nothing more important than our national security. And they love me on certain things, but honestly, we wouldn't have crowds like this, and it's everywhere we go. We wouldn't have crowds like this. They're as big as the room. And by the way, there are thousands of people outside that can't get in. Okay? And it's not like, Friday afternoon, you could have been doing something else, I guess, right? But we have fun. Are these the greatest places? The Trump rallies, are they the greatest? All right? The greatest. So, and by the way, the safest place to be in this country is at a Trump rally. That I can tell you. And we're going to take care of everybody, not just the people in this room, not just what the people in this room represent, which is largely love, because it is love. But we're going to take care of everybody, including people that don't know if they like the people in this room, because we're going to unify our country. We're going to take care of the Hispanics. We're going to get jobs. We're going to take care of the African Americans who are really suffering in this country. And Hillary Clinton can't do a damn thing for them, and she never will. And guess what? She doesn't want to, okay? She couldn't care less. So it's worked out beyond what we thought. We were supposed to be in July in Cleveland fighting for our lives. And I said, what are you talking about? We're going to win on the first ballot. We're going to win on the first ballot, right? Now, I didn't know it was going to go this quickly. Oh, look at the cameras they turned because they found a protester. Look at those cameras, those bloodsuckers. They found a protester. Thank you, protester. Thank you, protester. Thank you. Get him out. Get him out. Get him the hell out of here. It's always funny. You can never, usually they're just singles. You know, the mom kicked them out of the house for the week. But usually they're singles, and you can never hear them. But what you hear is my people going, get them out, get them out. My people make so much noise. It's true. It's true. So let me just tell you, Bernie Sanders has been great. We like Bernie. I like Bernie. You know why I like him? He doesn't have a chance. And what he's doing to her is incredible. Because the system is rigged against Bernie. Do you ever notice? He wins, he wins, he wins, he wins. Then you watch the pundits, these guys, the dishonest ones. They sit around, he can't win because the system's rigged. I have to say, our system was rigged too, except for one thing. If you win by massive landslides every week, it's no longer rigged. It's like the boxers. That's right. That's what happened. The system was not meant for me to come in as an outsider that built a great company. I built a great, great company. When I filed, in fact, Papa Doug knows, when I filed my papers, over 100 pages in federal elections, and I filed tremendous company, tremendous iconic assets, unbelievable cash flow, very little debt, makes a lot of money, and they were so unhappy to see it. But you know what? I say it for a different reason. And I started off, by the way, with $1 million loan and now have a net worth of much more than $10 billion. And you know what? I don't even want it. I'll tell you what. All I want to say is this is the kind of thinking that we need to straighten out this mess that they've given us in our great country. This is the thinking we need. This is what we need. So let me tell you a little bit about San Diego, because we're talking about a rigged system, right? I have to say this. I was told, the lawyer said, don't do that, we're going to win. But San Diego's special for a lot of reasons. Some of my best friends live here. You may have the best weather on earth, okay? You may have. I've always heard it. But we have a couple of minutes. Does everybody have a little time? Yeah. So I end up with a lawsuit. And it ends up in San Diego in federal court. And it's a disgrace the way the federal court is acting. Because it's a simple lawsuit. Everybody that took the so-called course, it's Trump University, is in San Diego. And the trial, they wanted to start while I'm running for president. The trial is going to take place sometime in November. There should be no trial. This should have been dismissed on summary judgment easily. Everybody says it. But I have a judge who is a hater of Donald Trump. A hater. He's a hater. His name is Gonzalo Curiel. And he is not doing the right thing. And I figure, what the hell? Why not talk about it for 2 minutes? Should I talk about it? Yes? So we should have won. I'm being railroaded. So here's the story. Very simple story. A number of years ago, a long time ago now, I opened up a school, a little school thing. We called it Trump University, changed the name. We had probably, I don't know, a lot of people, like 10,000 people. The people, did you like it? She said she was there, she liked it. Here's the story. So we open up, and it really was successful from the beginning. Then we get these claps. So we open up, And it really was successful from the beginning. Then we get these class action lawyers. They immediately sue. My people did a good job for a couple of reasons. 10,000 people, almost that many signed a report card. And the report cards are unbelievable. So we had, let's say, 10,000 people, almost that many signed a report card. And the report cards are unbelievable. By the way, without that, it's their word versus these people or me. But this is a case that I'll be here in November. Hey, if I win as president, it's a civil case, because this is a case that I'll be here in November. Hey, if I win as president, it's a civil case. I could have settled this case numerous times, but I don't want to settle cases when we're right. I don't believe in it. And when you start settling cases, you know what happens? And people understand that this whole thing, and people understand that this whole thing with the lawyers, class action lawyers, they're the worst. It's a scam. So here's what happens. We're in front of a very hostile judge. The judge was appointed by Barack Obama, federal judge. I mean, frankly, he should recuse himself, because he's given us ruling after ruling after ruling, negative, negative, negative. I have a top lawyer who said he's never seen anything like this before. So what happens is we get sued. We have a magistrate named William Gallo who truly hates us. And this is what? Now, the good news is it's a jury trial, but we can't even get a full jury. We're entitled to a jury. We want a jury of 12 people, and you're going to watch. First of all, it should be dismissed before the trial, but if we have a trial, we'll go all the way. Watch how we win it, because I've been treated unfairly. Very much like with the veterans, where I raised all that money, but on Tuesday, I'm announcing all of the groups that we've given almost $6 million to. You know, you turn things around. So here's the story. We have a law firm named Robbins Geller, where basically Robbins Geller is a spinoff of two law firms, Lyric Coughlin and Milberg Weiss. Two of those partners went to jail for an extended period of time for doing very bad things legally. This same group is the lawyers against. So what happens is the judge, who happens to be, we believe, Mexican, which is great. I think that's fine. You know what? I think the Mexicans are going to end up loving Donald Trump when I give all these jobs, okay? I think they're going to end up. I think they're going to love. I think they're going to love me. So here's what happens. We get sued by a woman, and she turns out to be a disaster for them. Her name is Tarla Markov. And she rated on the report card, it's 1 to 5. 5 being excellent, the highest mark. She gave me a 5 across the board, all 5s. She then did a video saying it was fantastic, the most glowing video you've ever seen. She then sued me because she wanted her money back. She was such a disaster that this judge, it was her against us. She was such a disaster that this judge allowed her to get out of the case. But we want her to be in the case. And the lawyer said, Your Honor, we want her to be in the case. He said, she's out of the case. So now we have others. So we said, dismiss the case. She's out of the case. No, we won't dismiss the case. So we have 10,000 surveys from former students giving Trump University rave reviews. It's called, and it's on the website, www.98percentapproval.com. Okay? Now, so we have Marla, so we have Makoff giving us these great numbers. Then we have another one. Bob Gillow, they used him, I think it was Bush, Jeb Bush, low energy. We have these guys making commercials. Now look, in all fairness, it hasn't hurt me much. Because, you know, they use this thing, and every once in a while you have one. And we're going to win. But if I don't win, and even if I do win, we want to open, my kids will open it up again, because it was a terrific school. It was great. It was good. So we have a guy named Bob Gurlow. He appeared in a TV attack ad. You believe it? They used him on ads against me. I had 66,000 negative ads, over $100 million in Florida alone during the big primary, which I won in a landslide. We had 15,000 negative ads, and I won. I almost wonder, what do ads mean, if you want to know the truth? So you have this guy, Bob Gurlow. He appeared in TV attack ads, even though he rated the programs a 5, meaning excellent, the top mark across the board. His primary complaint was he would have liked to have more comfortable chairs, okay? Unbelievable. Then we have a guy named Art Cohen, and he was late to file. So he signed a survey in which he rated the program either a 4 or a 5. I will tell you this. How smart was it to ask everybody that took the course to sign a report card, okay? Now, you know what the lawyers are saying? The lawyers are saying, oh, but they were forced. 10,000 people were forced. They were forced. And you have pictures. We actually have videotapes of people. They weren't forced. A professor said, would you sign how you like it? So that's it. So he signed all 5s and 4s out of a possible, the highest marks, and indicated that his only complaint was a lack of nice lunch sandwiches. Okay? Think of it. So he was late. So they went to the judge, and the judge said he's late. Why don't you file under RICO? Organized crime. Now, we've all been sued in business for RICO. Even Papa John, probably. We ever sued everybody. RICO's like, but they ended it pretty much. So I get sued. Here's a guy gives me all good marks. He's late. So they're starting a new lawsuit. Now, here's the thing. This law firm, because this is like a life study, this law firm gave a lot of money to the Attorney General of New York, who's a total lightweight. His name is Attorney General Eric Schneiderman. Schneiderman accepts their money, goes to meet with President Obama in Syracuse, when Obama was in Syracuse, and in the next day or two, files a lawsuit against me because they, in my opinion, they gave him a contribution, then goes to see Obama. You sort of see how the system works, folks. It's a bad system, let me tell you. So Obama meets with this dopey Eric Schneiderman, who hates our governor and he wants to run for governor, but I don't think it's going to happen. They go up to Syracuse, meets with Obama, and he files a lawsuit. So, bottom line is this. People said you can settle. In fact, a lot of people said, oh, before you run, you should settle. I said, I don't care. The people understand it, and they use it. So when I have 10,000 people, and when we have mostly unbelievable reviews, how do you settle? And in fact, when the case started originally, I said, how can I settle when I have a review like this? Every review is good. Now, I should have settled, but I'm glad I didn't. So I'll be seeing you in November, either as president. And I will say this. I have all these great reviews, but I will say this. I think Judge Curiel should be ashamed of himself. I think it's a disgrace that he's doing this, and I look forward to going before a jury, not this judge, a jury, and we will win that trial. We will win that trial. Check it out. Check it out, folks. And, you know, I tell this to people, November 28th, I think it's scheduled for. It shouldn't be a trial. It should be a summary judgment dismissal. By the way, friends of mine that are great lawyers, in fact, one of them represents you, said, how the hell do you get sued under RICO for a guy that took a course, loved the course, said great things about the course, and then you get sued under RICO? It is a disgrace. Now, I'm talking about Bernie Sanders has a rigged system. It is rigged. I'm talking about I had a rigged system, except we won by so much. I will tell you, this court system, the judges in this court system, federal court, they ought to look into Judge Curiel, because what Judge Curiel is doing is a total disgrace, okay? But we'll come back in November. Wouldn't that be wild if I'm president and I come back to do a civil case? Where everybody likes it. Okay. This is called life, folks. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to run this country properly, with heart, with passion. We're going to save Social Security. We're going to save without cuts. We're going to save Social Security. We're going to bring back and save our Medicare, which people want to cut like hell. We're going to knock out, remember this, knock out Common Core. Our educational system is a mess. We're going to knock out Common Core. We're going to bring our education to a local level, and we're going to do great. Repeal and replace Obamacare. We are going to save our Second Amendment. Remember, crooked Hillary wants to terminate, he wants to abolish our Second Amendment. The NRA last week gave me their full endorsement. The first time in the history of the NRA, the earliest endorsement they've ever given. And I'm honored. And by the way, they're great people. They're incredible people. They're great people. We're going to start very soon as we get in there, we're going to renegotiate our trade deals that are killing our country. Okay? We're going to renegotiate with China. We're going to and we're going to have better relationships than we have right now. We are going to renegotiate our deals. We're going to renegotiate everything. Everything's up for grabs. Wait till you see the incredible potential that this country has when we're not run by people with no common sense, with no business ability, frankly, with no heart. They have zero heart, and people that are incompetent. Wait till you see what we're able to do in a fairly quick period of time. So I went out, as you know, we won New York big. We won everything, but we won New York big. Originally, and I owe it to them, because drugs are pouring across the border, and New Hampshire was my first victory. So I love New Hampshire. And you look at the streams and the beautiful trees and the rivers, New Hampshire people, obviously. I love you too. Thank you. But it was my first victory. We won New Hampshire. That was supposed to be Bush, and he spent many times more than me. Wouldn't it be nice to hear, as a president, I've spent less money on this campaign than anybody else by far, and I've had the best result by far. Isn't that nice? But isn't that what you want for your president? Okay, aren't we tired of this horrible stuff that we witnessed? Every single thing we do, over budget, way behind schedule, we're going to change. You know, I'm building a hotel on Pennsylvania Avenue between the White House and the Capitol building. The old post office. It's 1.5 years. Really, it's more than that. I even hate to say it because nobody believes. It's actually 2 years. But I like to say 1 year. But we're opening in September a hotel at least 1.5 years ahead of schedule, under budget, and yet it's a higher quality hotel than anybody ever saw before. I think it'll end up being one of the great hotels of the world. And we're ahead of schedule, under budget, and yet we've increased the scope of the hotel, and it's going to be something our country's proud of. I made the deal with the GSA, Government Services, one of the most competitive deals in the history of government services. They made it for 2 reasons. Number one, they wanted to make sure it gets done, and they looked at my balance sheet, and they almost fell off their chairs. They said, it's going to get done. Number two, that was important because they don't want a half-built hotel. The other thing, they wanted a great concept. Wait till you see this. Now, I love opening it on September 15th. Maybe I should wait till like around November 2nd or 3rd, because that's going to be a big opening. And the problem with you guys is you tend to forget. We have like a 2-week span. We have a 2-week memory span. You know what I'm going to do? I think I'll open it up a little bit later. I'll still be so far, but it's going to be fantastic. That's what we should be doing for our country. You see our roads coming in so far above budget. You see our bridges. We don't build bridges for the most part. You know, in the old days, we used to build bridges. You go to China, bridges all over the place. It makes our bridges look like toys. Beautiful airports. You go to the Middle Eastern countries, many of them. They have airports the likes of which you've never seen, the most incredible structures, the most incredible buildings, and then we fly home and we land at LaGuardia with the potholes all over the runway. It's true. Or Kennedy, or Newark, or LAX. And it's a disgrace. We have become a third world country, folks, and it's not going to happen any longer. It's not going to happen any longer. So, what happened in Indiana was amazing. So we win all these states, New York, Pennsylvania, Rhode Island, Delaware, Connecticut, Maryland. And by the way, won every county in every state. It's never happened before. Won by landslides, where even the slime sitting over there, they would say, they used to say, they can't say it anymore, because now we're getting 78% and all, but they used to say, Donald Trump has not cracked 50%. Yes, he's won, but he hasn't cracked 50%. I say there's 12 people running. There's 12. More importantly, and boy, are we cracking 50% now. More importantly, in the history of the Republican Party, we've received more votes than anybody by far, by millions. And we have 10 states left to go. 10 states. And they'll never say that. They don't say that, so, I might as well tell you. You know the expression, if you don't toot your own horn, you better do it because nobody else is going to do it for you. This slime is never going to do it. That I can tell you. I just read a story by a woman named Parker and a woman named Haberman that's in the New York Times. And instead of saying Donald Trump won the Republican primary, give me a break, give me one day, right? They say his style of negotiation and the way he runs and the fact that he did this and that, all nonsense. And they say the Republican Party, well, in all fairness to everybody, even them, the Republican Party is really coming together quickly. You just saw Darrell Issa. You just saw Duncan. You just see all these people. These are the best. It's really coming together quickly. And we're up to over 90% in terms of approval rate. And last time we had this clown named Mitt Romney who let us all down, I backed him. I backed him and worked for him. So John McCain, that was a tough race. John McCain lost. Mitt Romney lost. I said this time we're going to do it ourselves, folks. We're going to win. We're going to win. And we are going to win, but just don't even think about it. And before we forget, so we've won the nomination. Big. By numbers that you can't believe. But you got to go out and vote in 2 weeks anyway. Because we want the mandate. We want the mandate. We have to have the mandate. So these two reporters, I just read their story, wise guys, they're not talented people. And they're saying, Donald Trump is having a hard time bringing the Republican Party together. Why don't they say, I won the nomination finally? It's as negative as you can make something sound that's a total positive. It's a little like I give the vets almost $6 million and they try and, I didn't have to give them anything. You know, it's funny. I make a speech. And during the speech, I say, hey, let's raise some money for the vets. And I figured maybe we'd get $1 million. And I told you before, then maybe two, then maybe, I end up, we're giving a full list on Tuesday. But I got these guys, they knock it. And we raise, so I take something where nobody even thinks about it. You raise this fantastic amount of money. I'm giving it to, I guess, over 30 organizations, all great organizations. And instead of getting praise, they sort of knock you. And I say, how do you get bad publicity when you've raised over $6 million? Same thing here. So these two reporters, and they always pretend like they're your friend. Oh, gee, Mr. Trump. The New York Times, I call it the failing New York Times is a disgrace. And by the way, the Washington Post, not much better. They've got 22 people on me right now. I'll tell you what, and I've always heard, if you're a very successful person, you cannot run for office, but you especially can't run for president. So the Washington Post has 22 people on me right now. 22 reporters. Now that's being run because the person that owns the Washington Post also has a big thing in Amazon, which is a much more important thing. So he uses the Washington Post for power, and he thinks that he's going to get the politicians to do what he wants, and he probably will, but me, I couldn't care less. And he doesn't want to pay, just listen, he doesn't want to pay tax on the internet. That's it. And he'll use that so that they're not going to tax Amazon on the internet. In the meantime, your department stores are all going out of business because it's unfair competition. So now he's got a threat in terms of monopoly. Now, he knows I'm the only one that says it. The politicians are afraid to say it because he owns the Washington Post. So the other day I get a call. They got 22 guys. They're slopping all this stuff together, and they're going to do a book that comes out in August. When do you see that one? So these people, are you okay? Yeah. You make sure he's okay. make sure he's perfect. You okay? You make sure, okay? We love these people. They've been standing here for 6 hours. And that's my great World War II vet. And the people that are looking at him, they don't realize he's tougher than all of us in this room, folks. That I can tell you. So I love to call these institutions out. Now, no politician's going to do that because they care too much. Well, I care too, but I care about doing the right thing. And so it's just very interesting. Here's one other thing I have to tell you. The New York Times last week made a fool out of themselves. They did a story on the front page of the Sunday Times, the top of the fold, the most important center, a massive picture of me standing with beauty pageant contestants, right? And then they interviewed 50 or 60 people. They put a few of them in because most of them said good things. And the few of them revolted because they said, that's not what we said, that's not what we implied. We like Donald Trump. We love Donald Trump. Donald Trump treated us with respect. One of them, Roanne Brewer, got married, Roanne Brewer Lane. And I said, boy, isn't that terrible, that story? They wrote it very disrespectfully. Not very serious charges, in all fairness. But they voted really very disrespectfully. And I saw her on television. And then I saw her again on television. And she was saying it was incorrect what they said. What they said was meant maliciously, and I like Donald Trump and respected Donald Trump, and he always treated me great, and you shouldn't write like that. And then I had Carrie Prejean, a very fantastic young woman who was a member and a very successful one of the beauty pageants. And I see Carrie is here right now. Carrie, we love Carrie. And she married a great athlete, and they're standing there together, and he's great. They have a great couple. And Carrie saw what was going on, and they mischaracterized her, and they said they spoke to her, and they never even spoke to her, and they wrote false stuff. And then they wrote about another one, and that was false. And then they wrote about a construction woman that worked for me, named Barbara Ress. I gave her the break of her lifetime. I let her build a major building in New York City where she was the construction manager. Probably never happened to a woman before. I gave a woman a break. My father said, Donald, don't do that. I said, why? Because he's a little from the old school, you know. I said, Pop, he's going to be good. He said, I'm telling you, you're making a mistake. Don't do it. I said, Pop, she'll do fine. Don't worry about it. He said, all right, whatever you want to do. So I let her do it and gave her the break of her lifetime. Then when she left, she wanted to come back because, you know, the grass is always greener. She left. Now, all of a sudden, she loves Trump. And for a long time, she's wanted to come back, for many, many years. And she'd write, thank goodness for emails. I love emails. They never go away. Hillary, do you hear that? They never go away. They never go away, Hillary. You know, Hillary is missing 30,000 emails. I have people that will retrieve those emails. I don't think they want to find those emails. Because, frankly, what Hillary has done is criminal, folks. It's criminal. And those emails do not. All right, let's get back to the New York Times. So Barbara Ress. So I gave her the break of a lifetime. She writes a book. The book is glowing about Donald Trump. And she said some strange things. She said in the book, this never came up, she said in the book, Donald Trump is not sexist. Who would say that? I mean, just out of, you don't write that. Unless you have evil thoughts, right? You don't write that. Is that correct, Carrie? Is that correct? So she puts in the book something to the effect that Donald Trump's not sexist. I said, that's a strange statement. Although I must say I never read the book until I read some passages. But it was a good book about me. But she wants to come back. So she's emailing to my secretaries for years. Oh, I want to come back. Donald Trump is the greatest. I've never met anybody like him. He's not a sexist person. He's the greatest, greatest, greatest. Letter after letter, email after email. And then she's in the New York Times. And she's saying, oh, he's a horrible person. Horrible. And he said to me, and by the way, just so you understand, one of my men said, I read about Barbara Ress. She had the most foul mouth of any human being I've ever seen. She used to walk into a group of men and start using the F word all over. And I had to bring her into my office to calm her down. She was going crazy. All right, so you ready? So now she writes all these letters that Trump is the greatest. And now I see her in the picture. I say, oh, that's good. I'll get a good, at least somebody will say good, because I didn't know that Carrie Prejean was going to come out and say great after reading negative stuff. I didn't know that Roanne Brewer was going to come out and say great after reading negative stuff. It was unbelievable. But then I saw this one, and I said, great. I gave her a job that no other woman would be given. Nobody. There was nobody even close. I was 25 years ahead of my time with women, okay? And to this day, I have women that are making more money for the same job as my men, and I'm happy about it. And I expect a lawsuit any day from the men. They'll sue me that they're not making it, because we're living in that kind of a society. My men will be suing me on Monday morning because they're not making as much as the women. I don't care. I don't care. Because we're doing great with women. I don't believe the polls. I can tell, look at all the women. We're doing great with women. Women for Trump. Women for Trump. Thank you. Wow. Thank you very much. I think we're doing great. And by the way, the numbers with women are going up. But you know what women want to see? They want to see strong borders. They want to see strong military. They want to see strength. Is that right? They want to see strength. And I'll tell you what, they want to see jobs. They want an economy that's going to boom. And everybody admits, I think even Hillary admits, but everybody admits that what I'll do for the economy, nobody else can do. So here's the end result. So the New York Times calls and they want to meet. So they met. And because they are so embarrassed. Who's with the New York Times? I hope it's not Maggie Haberman or Parker, because they're not legit. Where's the New York Times reporter? I call it the failing New York Times. So the New York Times wants to meet. So they met with one of my guys. They had a good meeting. Didn't mean anything. You know, I think they just don't want to be sued. You want to know the truth. But these people are very dishonest. The New York Times, the Washington Post, most of the people up there. Now, some of them are fine. Not too many of them, but some of them are fine. But you have to fight back. When somebody hits you, you have to fight back. Now, with the Times piece, and you know what I said to this Barbara Ress? I said, I had friends that called me. They said, man, you're not very cool. I said to Barbara Ress, maybe you shouldn't be eating that piece of candy. That's a little different than Bill Clinton, I think, okay? Little different. Maybe. And she said, now here's a woman that used the F-bomb more than any person I've ever heard. And she said, he was obviously talking about my weight. I mean, give me a break, folks. We are so politically correct now. Our country is dying from within. We got to get back to business. We've got to rebuild our country. We've got to rebuild our infrastructure. Remember this, almost $5 trillion spent in the Middle East, and we don't have enough room to fix a road that's right outside that, by the way, I looked at just now. It's in horrible shape. Okay? We can't fix our highways, our tunnels. And we're going to get it going, folks. We're going to get it going. You're going to be so proud of your country once again. So here's the story. I came here, and I'm leading in the polls. We're leading in almost every poll now. Do you believe this? It's so great. But I came here, and I said, and specifically, we were in Costa Mesa. We had a tremendous rally. Who was there? Were you there? 31,000 people. Nobody even showed it because there were a couple of thugs outside burning the American flag, holding other flags up in the air. They were burning, and they were stomping on a car, a police car, stomping on it. And by the way, did you see when he got off that car? He broke his ass. Did you see that? He tried to pretend he wasn't hurt. That was adrenaline. Oh, did he hurt? Oh, was he hurt? That guy walked away. He said, man, that was painful. But all you saw was this thug and these people burning the American flag and holding up flags from other countries. These are thugs. They hardly showed the rally that we had inside, where we had the parents of young children who were killed by illegal immigrants, right? Where we had the most amazing love fest, like this, even more people. where we had the most amazing love fest. You know, a friend of mine came to me, and he came to Dallas. We had 21,000 people at the Mavericks Arena. And he said to me, Donald, can I ask you a question? How do you do this? You're going to speak in front of these people. A very big musician said, Trump is the greatest in the world without a guitar, meaning without an instrument. I got to stand up here by myself. And if I bomb, they will, believe me, they'll let us know about it. But he said to me, how do you do this? And I looked at him. This is, by the way, one of the most successful people in the country, in the world. And he looked at this massive audience like this today, and like I had a little while ago in Fresno. And he looked at this massive audience. He said, how can you get up there and speak? Do you have notes? I say, no. Do you have something? I say, no, I have like a good head. I have a good memory. I have a very good memory. But he said, how do you do it? And I said, you know, honestly, it's not hard because there's so much love in the room. It's unbelievable. There's love in the room. We want to take our country back. We want to take our country back. We're tired of being the stupid people all over the world. We're tired of it. And we're going to end it. We're going to end it. Thank you. So, folks, I love ending this way. And, you know, we're on live television so much, and it's embarrassing because we got these crazy ratings. So they take advantage of all of us. And they put me on all the time. Look at all the cameras. You know, when Hillary comes, you have no cameras, nobody wants to watch. And it's always difficult because you have to make different speeches. You can't be on live television all the time, right? And make, like, the same speech. Because people are going to say, wait a minute, he said that this morning. He said that yesterday. So you got to make, which is a little tougher. But the nice part is I can talk about current events. I can talk about things like we mentioned before, the TSA, how badly it's being managed. I can talk about our vets, how badly just things over the last 2 days came down. You saw what's going on. It's out of control. Our Veterans Administration is a corrupt enterprise. You ought to get Judge Curiel to look into that instead of wasting everybody's time so that he can take advantage of Donald Trump. That's what Judge Curiel should do. He should be ashamed of himself. But here's the story, folks. I like to end it this way. And how many ways can you end something? And, you know, somebody said, make America great again is a very negative statement. I said, no, no, no. It's a very positive statement because we are going to make America great again. But listen, listen. We don't win anymore as a country. We don't win with our military, with education, with trade, with anything. We don't win. And now they want to take your Second Amendment away. That's not going to happen. But we don't win anymore. And I say this, and I have fun saying it, and I love saying it, and we can't do it any better. We are going to start winning again big league. We're going to win with our military. We're going to knock the hell out of ISIS. We're going to win for our great vets, and they are great. We're going to win for our great vets. They have not been treated properly. Illegal immigrants get better treatment in many cases than our veterans, and that's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So we're going to win for our vets. We're going to win on education. No more Common Core. Bring it down. Bring it down. We want it local. We're going to win with health care. We're going to win at the border. We're going to win at trade. We're going to win so much that you people are going to be calling your president. And you're going to say, please, Mr. President, we don't want to win anymore. You're winning too much. You're driving us crazy. And I'm going to say, I am very sorry. But we're going to keep winning. And we're going to win, win, win. And we're going to make America great again. I love you. Thank you. I love you, San Diego. Get out and vote. Get out and vote. We're going to win California. Get out and vote. Thank you, everybody.